To add texture to the ground, you will learn how to use the COP or Copernicus context to work with procedural images. On the Quick Surface Material node is a button for creating a COP network. In there you can set up nodes that feed into color, specular, and normal maps, or use the same image nodes to feed all three. This gives you the flexibility to generate textures without going out to a separate image processing application. So we're going to take the ground matte node that we have built earlier here, and we're going to change the color back to white. It's always good when you're working with textures to have white as the main color. Now, beside color map, what we want to do is we want to say set or create, which right now there's a grid in there. We're going to go across to this end here, and we're going to click this button here to create a network. Now what we're going to do is, before we double click into there, we're going to pin this. So double clicking into here doesn't change what we see there. And what we see is there's a UV grid feeding into here. So we're going to select this and delete that. We don't need that. And we're going to go tab checkerboard. We're going to take a checkerboard and we're going to feed it into the input here. And there we go. Now, one of the things we can do as well is, if we wanted to, we can split left and right. And we're going to change this here to a viewer composite view. And we're going to we're not going to have the pin on that. So here we see what the texture looks like in sort of a 2D view, and here it is on the 3D surface. And if we were to go into this and, I don't know, let's go to oh, no, the white one. Let's go to the black one here and just change that to red. We've now got a red checkerboard. Now, if we go back up to the stage level, we can go to the ground matte here. Scroll all the way down to maps here. We can change this to, say, 5, 5. And that creates the UV scale that we need there. So let's go back into here. And you know what? Let's delete the checkerboard for now. And we're going to put a pattern node down, tile pattern node. And we're going to feed that into here instead. And that gives us this grid here. And we're going to change this to be a windmill style. So there we're seeing the texture on there. Now what we'd like to do is we'd like to add some color. So we're going to go tab constant. We're going to put a color node down. We're going to change this to RBG and change the color to red. We're going to add a multiply node down. We're going to put it right in between there and there. And we're going to feed this into the foreground. So now we've created the coloring of this texture by multiplying these things together. And that's giving us what we're looking for so far. Now, if we go back up to the stage level, we can take this ground material and we can do the same thing for other, like the specular color map. We can put that in as well, and we can go down to bump. We can change the style to normal, say set or create, and click there as well. Now this looks a little bit wonky right now, but if we double click into here, we'll see that that's because there's a whole bunch of different checkerboards, and we're going to get rid of that checkerboard, and we're going to get rid of that checkerboard. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to feed the pattern into here, and the pattern into there. And now we see that we've got a bump map based on this texture here, the normal that we created, and we've got some specularity changes as well. Now this is looking a little too thick. So what we want to do is we're going to go back to the tile pattern, and we're going to change divisions to 4. Now, that will not update particularly there, so you sometimes have to restart the rendering just to see what it looks, and that creates a smaller grouting in relation to the tile. But we want more of them, so we go back up to the UV stage and we click back on this, and now we will change this to 10, 10. There we go. Or what about try 15. Okay, that works. That works. So that gives us a much better look for the grouting. And now we can go back into here and maybe change this to a French pattern, which creates, and again, notice how it's updating here, but it doesn't automatically update here, so we may need to restart the rendering there, and now we've got the new pattern there. Excellent. So we can collapse this because we don't need that right now. We want to look at this for what it is. Look back through the camera. Just restart the rendering just to make sure that's all working properly. So there we go. You've been able to create a compositing network that is building the texture for the ground surface right there. And that's great. In the next part, we're going to bring in the gumballs and render out the whole animated sequence. Okay, see you then.